The Death of Superman is directed by Peter Castorena and Sam Liu, and it stars Jerry O'Connell as Superman, Rebecca Romijn as Lois Lane, and Rainn Wilson as Lex Luthor. And there's a huge spoiler in this title, so you can't blame me, blame the filmmakers. This film is of course based on a very acclaimed graphic novel that has stood the test of time, and we find Clark Kent dating Lois Lane and dealing with some personal issues, as well as the coming of Doomsday, who comes to Earth and must be stopped by the Justice League and Superman. Now, as I said, this is based on a very acclaimed graphic novel that came out in 1993, if I'm not mistaken, the year of my birth, and it's also a new version of the very first movie that DC Animation did, called Superman Doomsday. This is a new version that is going to be divided in two parts. This is part 1, much like they did The Dark Knight Rises. And this is a better version of this adaptation. We find Clark Kent and Lois Lane and their relationship in this film being the most compelling element of it. We have this dinner that they're going to have with the Kents, and Clark is really not sure about presenting Lois to his parents. We have to deal with Lois not knowing that he is Superman, and yeah, this film carries a big spoiler in its title, and there's no spoiler bigger than the very title, so don't consider this a spoilers review because I'm not going into every detail. However, I will kind of talk freely about what is important in this film. And as I said, the relationship in this film is very compelling. You like these characters for who they are as individuals, and together they have this back and forth that is really entertaining, really charming, and you believe their relationship and you understand why they like each other. But what this film does really extremely well is showcasing why Superman is important to the people, what he means to the people as a guardian, as the symbol of what is basically being God and having their own personal savior. The film really does a great job at showcasing why these people love Superman, because he basically saves them on a daily basis, and so he's going to be kind of important to them. And the fight sequence with Doomsday is incredible. The two just go at each other throughout Metropolis, and it's really entertaining. I will come back to this in a bit after I mention my negatives. And the animation is pretty standard. Now, in other films that wouldn't be a negative, but since they're doing this big two-parter, they did a better animation style on The Dark Knight Rises. I am not expecting Pixar level animation, but I am expecting something better than their standard, which is good animation, a good animated film direct to DVD, but they're making a big deal about this, and I expected a big deal to be made about the animation as well. And though everyone does a really good job voice acting wise, I really have to say that Rainn Wilson wasn't the right choice for Lex Luthor. He just doesn't seem to fit the role, and he's playing Lex Luthor like he was in the Batman 66 series, which doesn't really fit with the rest of the film and what everyone else is doing. Though I love the Justice League and most of the great DC animated movies that involve the Justice League, and you guys know Batman is my favorite superhero, they are not welcome in this film. They make this film feel overstuffed. Why they are here is to fight Doomsday before the big fight one-on-one with Superman, and they need the movie to be 1 hour and 20 minutes long, so the Justice League is here to get their asses kicked. And they pretty much feel like canon fodder. They pretty much feel like they're here to establish that this is in continuity with some of the films they have done so far. And now going back to the fight of Superman and Doomsday, this is what you came for. And it lasts for like half an hour. As soon as Superman comes into the fight to help the Justice League, it's just him and Doomsday one-on-one, and it's incredible, and it takes as much time as you would hope and dream. This combination is so entertaining, and it lasts so long, it's so elongated, it basically justifies the very title of the film. And since the film does such a great job in establishing Superman and his relationship to the people and what he means to the people, and it ends on such a somber note and such a dark tone because of his fight and the results of that fight with Doomsday, we see this figure looking at the statue of Superman, the grave that he was in is broken, and then Jimmy Olsen is filming it, everyone is seeing it, and Superman might be alive, but we know he's not. The next movie will be called The Reign of the Superman, plural, and I can't wait to see that one because that is the one part of this great story that has never been adapted. Overall, this is not a perfect movie. Far from it. It's not a great movie, and it's not a great adaptation. It feels overstuffed to the point. It feels elongated, not to a very aggravated degree. The fight and the action is amazing, the relationship established is amazing, and Superman as a symbol, as something that means something to the people of Metropolis is really well done. And because of that, I will give The Death of Superman a martini. It is a good time, anytime. Now, what did you think of the death of Superman, my beautiful geekies? Let me know in the comments below. Have you read the comic book? Have you not? What are you expecting for the next movie? And thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I have one surprise review tomorrow, probably because I still don't know what movie I am watching, but hopefully something I haven't seen before, and I'll bring you a review. Thank you so much. You guys are the best, and so until tomorrow, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so you can be geeky united!